All right, folks, time to tackle a question I've been getting a lot on TikTok and Instagram, and I thought I'd make a somewhat put together video about the breakdown of everything that I've spent on this build. I'm gonna start by saying this: you don't need a lot of money to build the LS, bro. Let's just get that out there. If you like me, you know exactly what you're building for, which is probably what helped me keep this in a decent price range, at least. Everybody's price range is different, but for me, I knew exactly what I was building for, and I knew exactly what I wanted. So with that being said, if you know those things before even starting the swap, it'll help you out a lot. But let's start with the junkyard. All right, I made 5 trips, and these not fabricated numbers. These is all real money that I spent. A lot of folks get up here and be, exaggerating some of these prices, but this is the exact dollar amount of what I've spent to have it sitting where it is right now. It runs, everything is good. I do have videos of it running. If you want to go check them out, you can go to Instagram, TikTok, or scroll through the channel and find them. But I made 5 junkyard runs. I put in 2 Amazon orders, and then I did a Facebook Marketplace deal for the transmission, which I scored that block for the free. If you go watch the square body video I just dropped, I talked about how I got that. But with the junkyard alone, and this is where I'm about to break it down a little bit, but I'm gonna still try to tie it back into the total number. But if you're just looking for a plug and play motor, like pulling it all together, everything there, based on the junkyard run, these 5 trips for $535, depending on your location, you can get you a full block. All right, moving over to Amazon, I did another 2 orders for that, and then the Facebook Marketplace deal, which brought me to a total of, if you can see that, $1,535.83 to this date is what I've spent to get that LS into the Montero and connected electronically and running. That's where we are. All right, so let's talk for a minute. You're thinking about doing an LS swap, all right? I put this in the other video I made about wanting to do an LS swap, but I'm going to say it again. Do your research, all right? That's going to be the #1 key factor into how much money you spend or how much money you don't spend. Number 2, don't fall into them Facebook groups with the LSs and all that, because they be saying, oh, you got to get this and you got to get this. No, you don't. What are you building for is the bottom line. That's going to determine how much you spend. Now, $1,500. To some, that's cheap. To some, that's expensive. All right. It really just depends on where you are in your financial situation. All right. For me, I really didn't know it was this much until I sat down and really started doing it, because I was just looking up stuff that I wanted, did some more research on how it was performing, and then I was like, all right, I'm just going to get it. So that brought me to this number. Now, for about $1,500, you can get you a pretty rowdy LS, and y'all have heard it run. That motherfucker is rowdy. I got to get a tire put on here. I got to get my drive shafts and then get it over to a dyno so I can get it tuned. So this number probably going to go up maybe a little bit more. So I'm going to say about $2,000, bro. $2,000. You can get you a decently put together LS if you know exactly what you're building for and exactly how you want it. All right. You don't got to go out here and get all this top of the line fancy stuff, all these big company names. I will say this: spend the money on the parts that you absolutely need. So your push rods, your springs, what else? The oil pump. You might have to spend a little bit more money on those internal things that really make stuff tick. But other than that, you can get away with stock stuff, all right? And depending on which cam you go with, you really don't even have to change the springs for real. But that's another conversation for another day. $1,500 is what I've spent so far. Well, $1,535, but that's the total number for the Montero at least. And yeah, so hopefully this helped somebody, answered some questions that everybody be asking about how much it costs. If you have a Montero and you're thinking about doing this, or the Montero Sport, let me say that because they do it to the Montero. It's the sports that haven't been done before. But if you're looking at doing it for the Montero Sport, there are some things that's already there that you can reuse. The transmission center or the cross member, damn. You can reuse the cross member. You can use the motor mounts if you cut them, but I ended up getting some sliding motor mounts and put them on there. What else? That's pretty much it. Oh, the shifter cable, it reaches, but you gotta adapt it to the 4L60 or the GM transmission, whichever one you use. Throttle cable, it actually work. And that's it, pretty much. It's a real tight fit, but it fit in. So I'm kind of rambling right now, but to wrap this up, about $1,500, man. $2,000 on the higher end if you on a budget or whatnot, whatever. Or if you just got the money to throw at it, go all out. But if you're trying to be strategic about it, for about $1,500 to $2,000, you can get you a pretty nice LS. All right, so I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think, how much you spent on your swaps or whatever. And then that's it, man. So until the next video, I'm out.